Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be stripping the interior on our Ford Fiesta XR4. In the last video you would have seen that we put the front end on this one, but we've taken it off and we've swapped the gearboxes into our other white one because we didn't really like the way that this one drove. So now we're parting it out. We need to pull the interior apart, and we're going to be removing front seats, rear seats, carpet, center console, a fair bit behind the dash, speedo. So you'll see within this video and along the way of how to pull things out. So let's get into it. So now that we are inside the car, we're going to pull out the driver's and the passenger seat first. Get a T50 Torx piece and we'll have one bolt, one in that corner, one in that corner and one in that corner. So 4 bolts. There'll be a plug here underneath, obviously. You need to unplug it. And of course, why am I pulling out the driver's seat first? It doesn't have the handle. Regular XR4 or ST150 problem, so lucky we don't need these seats. So I've got the driver's seat fully unbolted, but we can't get it out the driver's door because it doesn't open wide enough. So we're going to have to pull out the rear seats and get it out the boot. So a T40 Torx piece, there will be 2 on each side, so 4 in total. Undo them, and we're going to undo this bottom seat. 2 T40s in there and in there, and then that side is a bit harder because it's got the seat belt, so you have to undo the seat belt. So I'll get back to you when I'm up to that part and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so we've removed that seat there, we've removed the bottom piece. Now this is what I was talking about right here. So T50 Torx piece, that bolt right there. Now you have to pull this out because this seat belt is built into the seat. So to be able to pull it out easy, you just undo that bolt there and then you fold it down, same as this one. You'll have 4 Torx pieces either side. So you want to use a T40 Torx piece to undo them, and then we'll get rid of the driver's seat that's unbolted, unbolt the passenger seat, and then that's all the seats gone, and we'll go from there. So we've done a fair bit off camera. We've stripped the whole rear, pulled the spare wheel out and that. Them trims up there have 3 Phillips head screws in them each side, so you have to undo them to get them out. But next we're going to take out the mounts. Now the main mounts, or all the mounts I should say, use a T50 Torx tool. 4 on the main mount. The seat belt goes on top of the mount, just so you remember that. 2 on the side mounts, 1 for the seat belt mount, and then 2 on the side mounts, 1 for the seat belt while you're at it as well. And then the rear's pretty much finished. So now we're going to be pulling out the center console. So our first thing we're going to do, come to the back of the handbrake. There will be a Phillips head screw under the handbrake, so you'll need to drop the handbrake down to get it. So I've done it off camera because the front of the car is jacked up and could have rolled back a bit, so but we're all safe. So now this trim here, you'll need to pull it off, and up the front there will be a clip in that hole, and this one has a Phillips end on it, so it unscrews and then unclips. So if yours is the same, get a Phillips head screwdriver and unscrew it. Then once that's out, I can already see the Torx right there, T25 Torx piece to get the center console out. So both sides. Then the center console will come out. These trims will be out. Now we're going to be pulling out the speedo. Now the speedos normally have an LCD problem. So if you're doing that as well, I'll show you how to remove it. So you want to, under the tray under here, there'll be a little drop down box. And then there'll be 2 Phillips head screws. Undo them. If you want to take the whole trim out, there's 3 down the bottom that you have to undo. And then on the other side, it just unclips. And then under this, you follow this down. And underneath there'll be a screw either side. Undo them, then that should pretty much just rip out. So now that we've undone the screws at the bottom, should just be able to grab it, pull it out, and then chuck it down beside you. And then now you're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. There'll be 2 screws each side of the speedo. And then for this case, I've just got a plastic knife. Now it is fake, so, and then you want to push the dash up a bit if you have to. Put it down in the center, there should be a clip. And then you'll need that in when you pull it out, otherwise it won't come out. I'll show you the clip once I've pulled it out. So now we've undone the 2 screws. We've pulled the knife out at the top because we don't need it anymore. Should just pretty much slide out. And then it's got one of them forward radio type plugs. Just turn it, unplug it. And there's your speedo. Be sure not to scratch it or try not to put oily fingers on it and make marks all through it if you're pulling it apart, because it might make it look not as good as when you got it out. So what we've done off camera, but I'll just pretty much explain it to you. So we've dropped that whole bottom trim, and then we've just put our fingers up through, push the back of the headlight switch out, and then went through there to get the boot button switch out. The air vents, I just put a pick into them, pulled them, came out good. We pulled the radio out. I 3D printed some radio keys, but they didn't really work the best, so I pulled it out, but I can't put it in another car. So we've ordered some real metal keys for it, or the tool that you need. So going to be doing that in an upcoming video, hopefully. Then we're just gone behind, push them buttons out, and I'm hoping in an upcoming video as well, we'll illuminate all these to blue to match the interior, match the seats, match the brakes, and so on and forth. Okay, and that brings us to the end of this video. In this video, I showed you how to strip the front and rear seats, take the speedo out, and a few other little things. So I hope you've learnt something. I'd always like for you to leave a like, subscribe, or even comment something that I should do in a future episode. So that's a wrap to this episode. I'll catch you in 2 weeks.